Warning, this video contains spoilers for Star Trek Discovery Season 1 and Star Trek Discovery Season 2. Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 1, Brother. Oh, brother, where art thou, if you know what I mean? That's basically the plot of this whole season, or at least for the first half of it. So let's go ahead and get right into my review of the entire episode. Again, spoilers to follow. I thought the black and white intro was pretty cool, and I also thought it was supposed to replace the title screen as something new. But it didn't, and was only used as a thing to tell a story about a young girl who created the Milky Way through throwing ash into the sky. I assume this will be related somehow to the Red Woman later on in the season, but we never know. Amanda Grayson is literally the most chill person in the galaxy. New kid? No problem, Sarek. It's no big deal. I'll just take care of it. It's not a big problem. The real question is where the fuck is Sybok?
Release this pain. Release it.
It makes sense that Spock would be upset about a new kid being brought home. I mean, what kid wouldn't be upset to some degree? So they say here in this sequence that the Enterprise is completely offline, except for life support. But they already sent out a hail and a distress call, and their propulsion is still working because they just fucking flew in and stopped. Oh, and their transporters are working fine too, so which is it? The minor changes to the intro sequence were a nice touch to showcase the differences between seasons. I really like the Geordi LaForge goggles. That was a nice prop choice to include. While the camera angle does keep moving throughout this episode, similar to that of my complaint for Season 1, the overall tone of the episode is much more lighthearted, and even the lighting is brighter as a whole. They also quickly addressed the uniform question, and we got the answer, which is essentially the Enterprise has the newer uniforms while the Discovery has older ones. Pike's speech here to the crew at the beginning, when taking command, was really great. It's nice to see a captain back on Discovery that has some wisdom and experience under their belt, and who puts the crew and mission before themselves. Paul looking at a recording from Dr. Culber was a really nice touch. Season 1 wrapped up so quickly that nobody really had a chance to mourn his death. Also, leaving the Discovery was an expected plot point for Stamets, but it's also obvious that he won't stay away. So Michael called Sarek father here for what I think is the first time ever, but she may have said that in Lathe in Season 1, but I pretty much blocked that episode out from my memory. They have definitely softened up Sarek in a lot of ways, and his character is coming off as much more fatherly to Michael during this episode. He was very cold and distant and kind of a dick in Season 1, so it's nice to see that they changed that out. I am curious to see what happened between Michael and Spock. My guess right now is that they were in a romantic relationship, and she ended it at some point. Gross, kinda, but not illegal.
We've been hanging and banging, brother.
The sound-off sequence on the bridge was awesome, because I had made some comments in my past videos that I legitimately had no idea who the hell half of the bridge crew was on Discovery. It was literally a challenge for me to find out who Detmir was on the ship and what actress was playing her. It was a challenge, so this was great.
I was expecting a red thing. Where's my damn red thing?
Where's my damn red thing? Yeah, that was great. That was a really great sequence. I'm glad that they included that, and that Pike has a much loftier sense of humor as opposed to Lorca. The crew working together when they first arrive at the asteroid is also a really nice sequence. Again, I feel like this is directly related to Captain Pike's presence and a desire to try to bring everyone together. However, this whole sequence is the start of what essentially is another 30 minutes of Michael Burnham essentially becoming a Mary Sue throughout the entire rest of the episode. I didn't feel so much on the Mary Sue argument during Season 1, but there are just too many things here that really kind of irked me while I was watching it, and I'm going to run through that list really quickly here for you guys and gals. Number 1, Burnham is the one that remembers Saru's eyes see better, and she reminds him of that. Number 2, she somewhat berates Pike after he was pressing the crew for solutions. Number 3, she's the only person to have piloted the super fast crazy pods that Discovery now has. Number 4, she supposedly piloted it at an impossible 11 minutes at 9 Gs. Number 5, she was right about the science guy's trajectory and he died. Number 6, she disobeyed Pike's order to save herself and continue with the mission so that she could save him, proving him wrong. Number 7, she saved Pike and the overall mission. Number 8, she knew more about the crash ship's transportation technology than the chief engineer who is keeping her crew alive through magic technology for the last 11 months. Number 9, she knew exactly how to correct the power fluctuation during the transporter piece. And number 10, Tilly jumped on board with the Mary Sue train, and together they figured out a way to get some of the asteroid onto Discovery. And it was kind of coming off that Tilly is now in charge of engineering now that Stamets has stepped away, which is super weird because she's just an ensign still. There should be another chief engineer there, and I understand Stamets is upset about Culber's death, but he has responsibilities as a Starfleet officer and he doesn't get to just mope in his room. Also, things to note, after beaming over to the Discovery, the chief engineer on board the crashed ship, Commander Reno, is oddly never seen or heard from again in this episode. After waking up from the explosion on board the crashed Starfleet vessel, Burnham sees a vision of the Red Woman but never mentions it to anyone. Pike is really working to separate himself from Lorca, even going as far as to begin redesigning the Ready Room because it's creepy and there's no chairs in that thing. I did appreciate the joke about Saru's tendrils appearing all the time. It was weird that Saru didn't think about the asteroids hitting the Discovery until after they dropped his shields during the transporter sequence. I really like this scene's transition from the Discovery to outside of Spock's quarters on the Enterprise, and I love the look of Spock's quarters. I thought it was really well done. We are also once again sharing imagery with the Kelvin universe, because what the hell does this uniform look like? Overall, my feelings are mixed. The episode felt more like Trek than anything previously shown in Discovery, and the tone is starting to feel right again. But there are still several issues that aren't quite right. Michael Burnham being the best officer in Starfleet no matter what, a universe-ending entity that wants to destroy all life, and secrets between the crew members. These are all still things dragging down Discovery, but I am excited to see what the rest of Season 2 has to offer. Please feel free to share your comments and feelings and thoughts about this episode in the comments down below, and I'll catch everybody next time. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies!
We've been hanging and banging, brother.